In August of 2015, Kings Island teased on social media what was coming for 2016. As part of that teaser campaign, the park said two things that had been there from day one in 1972 were going away, which caused an uproar on social media. Tons of speculation. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Helbig alongside Ryan Sir, and this is Tower Topics. Tower Topics is a podcast for the Kings Island fans by Kings Island fans because that's who we are and that's who we care about. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. My head's still spinning from this whole thing back in August of 2015, right?
Yeah, it was a fun time. I've been involved in a lot of different teaser campaigns, and this one was off the charts good. I mean, it was coast to coast with the media coverage, trending on Facebook, trending on Twitter for 30, 40 hours, what the park was going to be doing, and a lot of that speculation on fan sites and enthusiast, social channels and that. A lot of speculation was that the racer was going to be torn down, and the reason for that was that I had used an aerial shot of Kings Island, and we had the racer in that shot. I mean, just like right above it, so you see the racer prominently, and then it kind of pans out, and you go into the parking lot. Which leads to the two things that were going to be going away, which were the north and the south parking tolls. Now, those have been there from the beginning. New parking toll, which everybody now enters the park through on the north side of the parking lot, was going to be built. Uh, but, it had people going.
It certainly did, and I remember, um, yeah, you approaching me because I ran KI Central at the time, and the rumor I think there was an announcement that there was going to be an announcement or something. We knew that there was going to be an announcement publicly. We knew, and I remember you saying like you should tell people that two original things from the park are going to be going away. And you wouldn't tell me what they were, of course. And I remember, like, you were at the park, I ran into you, that's when you told me, and walking away, and I started walking, and it's like 2 things, and I was like, "What could that be?" Like, what 2 things? Like, if they're gonna close 2 rides, like, what would they be? And, a lot of times when they remove rides, like, people that are really involved with the park, like, kind of get a heads up, and they know that it's coming, and I was like, "Wait a minute. The parking tolls. It's the parking tolls are the 2 original things. So there used to be north and south parking tolls. So I remember I circled back with you again, and I was like, "I have it figured out." You wouldn't tell me
Yeah,
that that
you,
was
you
it.
did. You did have it figured out. But what was fun about it was just because of that photo that was used. Everybody immediately, news media, coaster enthusiasts, season pass holders, they all assumed the racer
Yeah, we
was going to
I
be going.
remember you and I collectively I don't know if you sent me the photo or you just said, like, "It'd be funny, use a photo of the racer from the Eiffel Tower," or whatever. But, I remember having the local news reaching out to me saying asking for a comment on the racer being removed, and I think just didn't respond or something. I don't remember how I handled it because it was only like a 24-hour ordeal. But you're right. I think at the time it trended on Twitter. Facebook used to have trends at the time, so I do remember that. And if I remember correctly, that was one of the couple times that you and I collaborated and we trended on Yahoo News. The other
We did.
the other
And
time
yeah,
being
that was a big part of
when
it.
I had created the thread on KI Central called Decoding 2014 because the teaser campaign with Banshee. Um, as we were leading up to the announcement, that started trending, but the link was to the thread. So that was kind of cool that the thing that was trending was the speculation. So but yeah, two things being removed. I remember articles coming out and nobody really was so bad that they were like confirmed the racers being removed. But there were a lot of people that ran articles saying major roller coaster theorized to be removed from Kings Island that's been there from the beginning or whatever, and use the picture, your stock picture of the racer for it. So what a
Oh
crazy
yeah.
campaign. Okay, so let's break this down. What was it like managing the PR during that 24, 48 hour period?
Well, it was fun, and obviously I made other people kind of nervous on the marketing team. They're seeing all this stuff just explode, and just all the interest and the excitement. And they're like, well, when they find out it's parking tolls, are they going to be disappointed? And I said, no, I think they'll be excited that we're getting a little more modern there.
They'll be excited that it
Once,
wasn't the racer
I
being
said,
removed.
yeah, I said they're going to be so excited. And then, it was also about, the part of it wasn't just the parking tolls. You know, it was new water park expansion with Tropical
Mhm.
Plunge. And what I had to do was I had to tell, you know, everybody that, you know, they were kind of, you know, thinking that there was going to be disappointment because we were building this up so much about what we were doing, and that people were thinking the racer was going to go away, especially when there was one headline that said Kings Island remove racer question mark. We'll find out tomorrow. You
Yeah.
know, that kind of a story out there. And I said, no, I said, as soon as they find out that the racer is not going to be removed, I said, we can announce tomorrow we're putting in a teeter totter in the kids area, and they're going to be thrilled because the racer's not going to go away. I said, what we're doing right now is we're making sure that everyone's going to be excited about Tropical Plunge. You know, because if they were expecting a big roller coaster or something, you know, there's always that disappointment. It's not a coaster. It's not a coaster. You know,
A
and you always
coaster is
get that.
always theorized. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So you get that, and everybody's thinking, you know, oh, it's going to be this and it's going to be that, and it's going to be a new roller coaster, and you know, the way that we were going to get around that disappointment of it not being a roller coaster and being excited about this, uh, you know, really impressive, you know, new water attraction that was, you know, 6 different slide experiences, 7 stories tall, was to just make everybody super excited that the racer wasn't going away. So there was a lot of, you know, wheels in motion about how can we get people, you know, to really feel good about what we're doing here, not be disappointed it wasn't a roller coaster,
Mhm.
and you know, just be excited for Tropical Plunge, but also that we were, you know, becoming more modernized with the parking tolls, you know, and it was, you know, the season pass holders, you know, could go through a lane and just scan their you know, parking and get in, and a lot more cars could get in at the same time because of how many different lanes there were. So there were a lot of good things about that. So it was
Mhm.
one of the, you know, the campaigns that in terms of coverage, I had once that tweet went out, and it was on Facebook too. I had TV stations that were going live in time for the evening news, you know, the 5 o'clock to 6:30 news. I had them sticking around to go live again at 11 o'clock at night. I had them live again the next morning. They were live again at noon from all these places. That today, Kings Island, big announcement, big announcement. So you get all those hits from the Cincinnati, Dayton TV. You had the newspapers. You know, they were making sure they were sending reporters, not just going to take a press release. That they were actually going to have physical people. Their radio stations, not just from like, you know, 700 WLW. They came from different radio stations because there was just so much noise about what Kings Island's going to do that it was one of the largest media gatherings during my time there for a new attraction announcement, you know, I had to deal with. But yeah, everybody was excited about Tropical Plunge. You know, as soon as we started to head toward the water park, you saw the media getting their phones out, you know, calling back to their station saying, "I think it's water park. We're heading down towards Soak City." You know, so
Yeah.
so you had that going on too. It was fun. It was fun.
I would say that there's something to be said about you mentioned like building up for disappointment and stuff, but it kind of is a unique craft where you're building people for disappointment directly, and then when the thing that they think is going to happen doesn't happen, it's actually a good
And
thing.
then they're excited.
Right.
Yeah, so I had to do that because we did not know. I mean, we're like, okay, it's water park, and you know, when you have a water slide like that, that's, you know, thrilling, and the floor drops, and you know, it's not going to be for everybody. You know, so there would be some that would, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that. Well, the way around that was to make everybody excited that a popular attraction like the racer did not go away. And like I said, we could have put a teeter totter, announced that, and everybody would have been happy, you know, about that because the racer wasn't being touched. So it was kind of using that kind of a strategy to it to make sure that everyone, you know, was really excited about Tropical Plunge, and with good reason. I mean, it's a great attraction, but a super addition to Soak City Water Park, and also a way to make sure that the parking tolls were included in all the stories.
That's okay. So and so this was August of 2015, correct? And you
Yes.
said that you were making people avoid disappointment so they would be more grateful for the water park and the tolls. So, in any other context, that would be emotionally abusive. Do you realize that?
You know, it was fun, you know, and that was one of the things that I enjoyed was, you know, just really, you know, playing with, you know, the audience and creating these teaser campaigns, whether it was for Diamondback, Banshee, Mystic Timbers, Tropical Plunge. You know, it was just fun to, you know, put some things out there, not steer them off the path intentionally, but put something that, if they figure it out, great. But just have it in a way that that's what they were talking about, from the time the season opened until the attraction was announced. I think Mystic Timbers, the first day the park opened, nobody expected to go into Rivertown and, see the different, signage, the little teasers there, the little pieces of, wood, the logs that would come out periodically, as it was leading up to it. So it just got people talking from the beginning, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you want them to want to speculate. You want them talking about it on social media. You want them making those extra visits to the park leading up to the announcement so they can see what else might, be out there as a teaser leading up to it. So just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that it worked out very well, because in August, you're getting into back to school season, and so I think there's a lot of out of sight, out of mind with the parks. You see a lot of announcements, but the announcements are good, but they're also announcing for something for next year, or in Disney's case, 10 years from now in some cases.
Yeah, yeah,
But so I think something like this that gets the name of the park in front of a lot of people, especially in the region and the super region at that time of year was probably pretty critical. I mean, they probably helped a lot with the awareness and stuff because I imagine ad spend and stuff isn't great for like late August, but very cool campaign. It was fun to have fallen into a part of that campaign. Um that's not the ones we mentioned aren't the only ones. You look from 2008 until 2023 and you and I kind of collaborated on most of them for messing with people, but lots and lots of fun. So, yep, Tropical Plunge that dropped in, pun intended, 2016. It's a Whitewater West, floor drop capsule thing that actually has some raft rides and stuff associated with it too. Super fun attraction at Soak City. Soak City, by the way, at the time of this recording, is open through what is it, Labor Day, I guess. Labor Day at Kings Island, included with park admission.
yeah. Saturdays and Sundays through Labor
Er,
Day, and then Labor Day Monday.
Yes. Oh, right. Well, what a fantastic walk down memory lane. I hadn't thought about those couple days in a while. Anyway, I'm Ryan Sir along with Don Helbig, and this is Tower Topics.